Hey, a personal message from me. You have no idea how much I appreciate a reach out, a comment on the video, or a text message just saying, hey, that was an awesome video, and even a text message or a comment on what videos I could make to help you with your decision on moving to the Portland and Vancouver area. And just know that I am not the guy that's going to inundate you after you reach out. Excellent. I have your contact information now, and I can put you in a drip campaign that emails and texts you automatically every day with little or no effort. But no, that is not what I'm going to do. You will be in control of the conversation until you tell me, quote, I am ready to experience a moving experience to Portland, Vancouver. And then I'll be all over it. So text away. Emails have gotten so polluted, I think that texting is the best way to communicate at this time. So text away and thank you. Okay, this video, the realities of the cost of buying and living in a floating home. In my 4-part series, I touched on the ways to finance, etc., but I wasn't real specific about the costs and especially how they compare to a comparably priced home on land. Just side note, this video you're watching, it's April 5th. It's 50 degrees. There's a 7-mile-an-hour wind blowing right now. And so even though it's a beautiful day, I'm wearing a hoodie because it is not Hawaiian shirt weather yet. So let's start with an overview. Compared to a traditional home on land, living in a floating home is more expensive. But compared to any other form of waterfront living, it is by far the least expensive. The least expensive home on the river with a dock is $825,000, and this is a fixer, not updated, Daylight Ranch home. So putting 20% down on this home, your payment would be about $4,000 a month. The average price of homes on the river with a dock are well into the millions. Cost of a $2 million home on the water, financed at 80%, monthly payments approximately $8,700 a month. And that would require a $400,000 down payment. The highest price property on the market right now on the river is $7 million. So that's an overview of the homes on land that are on the river. Floating homes which are financeable start at about $300,000. Currently, the most expensive floating home on the market is $899,000. As far as financing goes, for the most qualified buyers and for a well-qualified home, the best rate right now on a 30-year loan is 4.625%. Compared at the time of the making of this video, a home on land loan of about 3.145%. So as interest rates change, just figure that the rate on a floating home is going to be about 1.5% higher than the current market rate for a mortgage for a home on land. These floating home mortgages are what they call portfolio loans. And what this means is that these banks or credit unions are packaging these loans to hold as an investment. They're not packaging them for resale through the federal programs that buy big batches of home mortgages. No, they're going to hold these loans, and so because of that, they're a little more conservative on who they loan to. There are no federal guidelines for mortgages on floating homes, and therefore they have created their own guidelines. The best interest rates and interest rates on these loans is credit score dependent, but for the best interest rate you need a credit score of 750 or above. If your credit score is not that high, and I believe about 650 is the lowest that they will take on these floating homes, your rate's going to be closer to about 6%. But compared to mortgages for manufactured homes and parks, these are actually pretty good rate. They do share some similarities, other than the majority of the floating homes do actually own their own slips. So let's do a cost comparison. we are going to compare a $400,000 floating home with a $400,000 home on land. In a nutshell, if we were to compare monthly costs for the $400,000 floating home, your monthly cost would be similar to that of a $550,000 home on land. And there are no 3.5% down FHA programs available. These are all 20% conventional loans. So the monthly cost for living in a financed floating home is about 37% higher than a comparably priced home on land. If you pay cash or you've paid off your mortgage, still assuming the $400,000 value, your ongoing costs with no payment for a loan, this would be for taxes and insurance primarily, would be about $545 per month in a home on land. A floating home, because of the HOA fees and because of the increased cost of homeowners insurance, your monthly cost to stay in the home that has no mortgage would be about $908 a month. So this is 66% higher cost to live in a floating home with no mortgage than living in a home on land with no mortgage. But again, this is the least expensive way to live on the water. And this is a lifestyle. Consider if you've got 1, 2, 3 boats, there will be no cost to moor those boats. You park them on your deck. When you go boating, there's no travel, pulling a boat on a trailer, launching the boat, enjoying your day on the water, putting the boat back on a trailer and traveling home. No, we walk out our deck and we jump in the boat, we spend the day on the water, and we cruise back and we get off our boat. You can slip a kayak into the water and get some great exercise, either paddle kayaks or even better exercise are the pedal kayaks. And instead of going up and getting on a bike or running, you can get your exercise daily right on the water. You can own multiple boats, power boats, sailboats, kayaks, and have no storage fees. You can fish from your dock or close to home. Last year I caught a salmon 2 minutes from my house. So if this is your lifestyle, the added cost is actually very affordable. And you won't have any yard work to do. One less thing. And so this wraps up this short video on the realities of the cost of living in a floating home. And until the next video, I'll catch you later.